Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of Exploring. Here we are in New York City again, home sweet home. This time we are in downtown Manhattan, more specifically in the financial district, more specifically in Rockefeller Park. I'm not very familiar with this area. Even as a native New Yorker, I have spent very little time here in this part of New York, in Manhattan. I very rarely am anywhere near downtown Manhattan. You know, looking at my outfit, you wouldn't think that, but I just came back from an interview. Yeah, my outfit is essentially representing this area. It's a very business-centric area. Not too much going on besides work, living, and transportating. But yeah, for those familiar with New York City, Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, it's near BMCC, the Borough Manhattan Community College. It's also near One World Trade Center. And this park itself, I can confidently say this is my first time here. I've never been here. In New York City, 23 years, first time in this park. But it goes to show you just how many parks are in New York City. I mean, it's an insane amount. Alrighty, and for this edition, we're back at it again with the film camera. Just in case you missed the last episode, I'm shooting with a Canon AE-1, and just like the last video, I'm shooting with Portra 400. I didn't finish my last roll, so the goal is to finish this roll now, either during this episode or sometime very soon. That's like my one issue with shooting the 36 exposure film rolls. It's because very rarely do I ever finish 36 film shots in one sitting. It takes me multiple shoots to go ahead and actually finish the full set of 36 film shots. So usually it's multiple sessions when it comes to that. But I mean, first world problems. Just getting off a quick fit check real quick. Fit check, you feel me? Dark blue pants, blue tie, real casual, you feel me? Ted Baker coat, you feel me? And then bandana, silky bandana to top it all off. Alrighty then, fit check. Alrighty, and just to update those that don't know, I use my phone as a light meter because light meters are ridiculously expensive for what they are. Like, it's silly. You know, one of my biggest dilemmas is always, should I shoot this shot vertical or should I shoot this shot wide? Horizontal or vertical? Ultimately, it just comes down for me personally, like in the frame of it either being vertical or horizontal. Just like, what is there more to see in one of the two? Is one of the two telling a different story than the other? Is one fitting in? Is it like, it's, I don't know. I clearly don't know how to articulate myself very well. But with this shot, I like it vertical for some reason. I like to capture the... Actually, I lied. I'm gonna do this shot horizontal because it captures ultimately more skyscrapers, and that's just my thought process on this one. So that's another thing. I'm never really sure, should I wait for the person to pass by and just get that clean shot with no subjects, or should I just, you know, snap the photo with the person driving their bike by, walking by, and capture more of a real feeling, you know, of what that environment is actually like, rather than just the emptiness of it. Whew, I'm really yapping right now, good God. All right, I ain't gonna hold y'all, I'm freezing my ass off. Oh my God. The wind is just going straight through my, I can't even speak, this is the point I'm at. The wind is going straight through my dress shirt and right into my chest. I'm cold. These gloves ain't doing a goddamn thing. I'm gonna try to get the sun just smack dab in the middle of the photo. Actually, I'm gonna have to bust that thing down. Hold up. Oh, with the helicopter. Oh no. Okay, so I got the shot, but now I have these ladies walking by. Gotta take advantage of it. Boom. Especially in that situation, I'm super cautious with like the amount of film shots I take, because each shot is literally a little bit of money. But when it's like that and I take a shot and I like it, when I take one shot I like it, but it's just empty space, and then like someone walks by right after, it's like, fuck it, might as well take one more even though it's film, because I don't know, the people in certain shots, natural movements in certain shots really is the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. So granted, I just got 2 shots that look very similar, but ultimately they do have completely different feels. So that's where like the dilemma kind of comes into play. It's not really a dilemma, it's just a, what's the equivalent? Because you know, when you talk a lot, when I talk a lot, I yap, right? What's that equivalent to thinking? Like, you know, yapping in thoughts. What is that? I need a word for that. Okay, so something I'm about to try that I've done a lot when I've been by myself. I'm gonna try to do a self-portrait on a film. So it's a fun little experiment, but I'm gonna try to do it now. I don't have this camera on a tripod. I just have it laying on my book bag. I'm gonna put the Canon on the tripod and give the self-portrait a shot. Okay, so there's a few things that make self-portraits difficult. It's the fact that, you know, when you're doing self-portraits, you can't focus on yourself because it's a film camera. You can't flip the screen outwards. There's no automatic focus. So the focusing in general and getting your positioning right is a pain in the ass. I can't tell you how terrible I've had some of my positioning in some self-portraits. Just so bad. Like, you can only see like half my body in some of them. Like I said, focusing is very difficult with self-portraits. So what I like to do is I like to choose a spot in the area, focus on that, and then go to that spot. For this example, there's a little orange spot on the bar here, so I focused the film camera on that spot. I'll stand directly where the orange spot is and then cross my fingers and hope the shot came out well. So, and also the film camera does have a self-timer, so that's how I'm able to do the self-portraits with the film camera. So boom, boom. All right. So, there's a good chance that was a nice shot, but quite frankly, there's an even better chance that that shot was ass. We wait and we find out. Literally, that's what shooting film is, and that's why I love it. You wait and you find out. So for this shot, I'm going to underexpose it just a little bit on purpose because, well, the sunset looks beautiful. That's about it. That's why. I want the sunset to really pop. All right, this is the last shot on the roll. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Exploring. I have absolutely frozen my ass off. I don't even think it's that cold. I think it's like 40-something degrees, and I'm in the freezer right now. I'm chilling. I'm cold as Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold the brakes, hold the brakes. Why am I warm? Why am I cozy? What's going on? You just saw me freezing my cheeks off. Absolutely freezing my cheeks off. Well, if you happen to watch the last exploring video, then, well, one, you are an amazing, incredible, phenomenal, stunning human being, and I love you. And then also, chances are you probably know what time it is. It's time for the breakdown. Here I am, future me, here to break down the film shots that I just took. Because, well, with film, you just don't know how they look when you take it. So here we are, future me, breaking things down. Now, before we continue with the breakdown, I want to just yap a little bit, a little story time as to something painful that happened to me during this shoot. As I finished the shoot, left Rockefeller Park, was a good 10-15 minutes away walking from the park, and I was like, well, now would be a great time to listen to some music and just zone out as I go home. Well, let me go ahead and take my AirPods out. Huh? What? No, they're not there? That's right, they're not there. The AirPods are gone. Gone. Now, first world problems, trust me, I know. But as a human being, one of my pet peeves against myself is losing things. I hate losing things so much. Ever since I've been a little kid, from like things that have been really important to small little things that aren't. I've lost so many items throughout my life, my career, that it's just, now when it happens, it's incredibly frustrating. So, you know, yeah. And the worst part about it is I don't even exactly know when or how I lost the AirPods. I think I have an assumption, Mr. Assumption over here, I have an idea as to how I lost it. And well, you know, like I said before, and as you can probably tell from just looking at me outside, it was absolutely freezing. It was so cold. And Rockefeller Park is right by the water. Temperature-wise, it wasn't particularly freezing. It was around 30 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, pretty cold, but you know, some people would hear that and be like, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, but the wind was, woof, it was blowing all right. It was blowing. Wind usually always sucks, but when it's cold and it's windy, it creates for a very uncomfortable setting. A very uncomfortable setting. So, like I mentioned, I have no idea when I lost my AirPods. I even looked back at the tape, rewinded, replayed. So I know for a fact, so I'm almost positive, I don't want to say I know for a fact, but I'm very 99% sure I know where I last placed the AirPods. Now, where I put them was, you know, if you saw in the fit check, I was wearing a Ted Baker coat, and in that coat, they got these pockets near your chest, you know, you put your hands in. I, because it was very cold that day, put my gloves, my cloth gloves, in those hand pockets. And as I was leaving, took my AirPods, put them in one of those chest pockets as well. Now, at some point during the shoot, it was astronomically windy and cold. The combination of both was beating me the fuck up. It was giving me a knuckle sandwich. I was so cold. I was so cold. I don't even remember the exact point I put my gloves on. I looked back at the camera. I looked back at the footage to try to see if I can find where I put my gloves on. Nope, don't have that. I think it was a little bit after the fit check. It was either a little bit before or a little bit after the fit check. I got really cold. I was thinking to myself, well, I'm shooting video and I'm shooting film photography. My hands are exposed. Probably would be a good idea to put some gloves on, especially because you have them. So I used my brain and then put on my gloves. But as I used my brain, this is where my assumption comes into play. My gloves and my AirPods were in the same pocket. So I can only assume, as I was taking out my glove from the chest pocket, if you know what AirPod cases look like, they're gloss. You know, they're very glossy. They can be very slippery. So I assume that as I was taking out my cloth glove, that the glossy AirPod case slipped out at the same time and fell as I took my glove out. So as I took my cloth glove out, the glossy AirPod case slipped out and probably fell on the floor. Well, I'll be all right. Like I said, I really hate losing things, and I'm like, oh man. And like I mentioned, as I was 10, 15 minutes out of the park, stopped everything I was doing. I literally took off my book bag, took off my jacket, took everything out of my pockets, was just like, where is it? Where is it? Oh my God, oh my God. Even walked back to the park, walked around, looked at the floor, looked at the grass. Nothing, just nothing. I retraced my steps. Yeah, nothing. Just added to the defeat even more is what that did. But yeah, whatever. Enough with the yaps. Let me proceed to why we're here. The breakdown. I'm not going to go through the shoot in its entirety. I'm just going to summarize my feelings and my thoughts on the shoot. And then I'll talk about my absolute favorite shot from this shoot, and then I'll also talk about my least favorite shot from this shoot. With this shoot in particular, I really loved it. I have like very little negative to say, and I don't really love that because I feel narcissistic here, just to be like, well, I love every single shot I took. That feels a little narcissistic, just a little bit, if I'm being real with myself here. But with this shoot, because of the time that I shot it, shooting it at sunset, there was so much natural light. From a technical standpoint, there really wasn't much that could have went wrong as long as I was like on my shit. There's no blaming the handheld shake, right? Like if something went wrong with this much natural light, it would be my fault. But looking at a lot of the photos, I am very happy with how they turned out. And a big reason why I liked so many of these shots was, well, because of this setting in particular, everything combined, the film equation that this setting forms is magic. I think probably, most likely, 90% sure that my favorite time to shoot film is during the sunset, right? So when it comes to just like my personal artistic taste, I think another great film equation would be film photography during sunset plus underexposing just a bit equals magic, okay? We're here with the magic film formulas, the magic film equations, okay? So yeah, my overall feelings on this shoot as a whole, I really feel great about it. And there were a couple shots that I adored, one in particular that I'm going to go into in a second, but there were a multitude of shots that I really liked. And there were really none at all that I didn't like. There definitely weren't any that I felt, oh my God, this needs to go in the trash bin. No. He does have the eye. This time, I really don't think so. I do have a least favorite, but you know what? Let's get into that, right? So overall feelings of the shoot, 2 thumbs up. This was honestly a really enjoyable shoot, not counting me freezing my cheeks off. The quality of the shoot, 2 thumbs up for me. I feel narcissistic saying that, talking about my own photos, but the setting really had so much to do with it. The park, the sunset. But let's jump into my least favorite from this shoot. So my least favorite from this shoot is unfortunately going to have to be this photo. Now, this was the very last shot that I took on this shoot, on this entire roll actually. And it's not an awful shot. I do think I could have got the composition a bit better. Could have got it a little bit cleaner. But the thing that easily upsets me the most with this photo is that the table and the candles are just a bit out of focus. I think if I got the table in focus and maybe fixed up the composition a little bit, I definitely think this could have been a usable shot. Not a portfolio shot by any means, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this photo. It's okay, but I don't think it's very usable, unfortunately. And honestly, this is the only photo, not to toot my own horn, but this is the only shot looking at this roll that I feel like is not usable. And when I say usable, I mostly mean to a social media degree. Certain shots might be portfolio worthy, right? If anyone out here watches Grainy Days, shout out to him. He is a big inspiration for these videos. He's a phenomenal creator, phenomenal artist, phenomenal photographer. When he does his photography videos, he mentions the portfolio shots. So I just kind of think of him naturally when I do this. I hope I'm not ripping him off here. But there are certain shots that I look at that I took that I'm just like, oh my God, this is it. This, we're going to take you, we're going to put you to the side. You might get put in the portfolio.
okay? Those shots are obviously rare, but speaking of those kind of shots, I think I got one in this shoot. I truly think I did. There was one shot that I took in the video that I'm utterly obsessed with, and that's right here. So if you watched the video earlier, you saw that before this shot, I took a shot that looked incredibly similar to this just like 10 seconds before. But obviously this shot is vertical. The other shot that I took that was similar to this one was horizontal. Both shots, as you can see, are very, very similar. But just that little thing that was added to the vertical shot, the two ladies that walked by, their silhouette from the sun in the photo, to me, is just the perfect cherry on top. The perfect cherry on top. Like in the video while I was shooting, I talked about being hesitant to take shots that look similar, because with film, each shot is a little bit of money. And I feel like you have to be more meticulous, more aware, more precise with the things you shoot when you shoot film. So because of that, sometimes I don't like taking shots that look similar, because I don't want to waste one of the shots in the roll. But with that one, when I saw them walk by, I was just like, it adds something, right? Them walking towards the sunset. Like I mentioned in the previous video, I love when photos give off a certain sense and a certain vibe, a certain aura. And that horizontal picture certainly is beautiful. The quality, the sharpness came out great. That to me is like a photo that really showcases the area well, that really showcases the time of day wonderfully. But in the vertical photo, when you add the couple in their silhouette, to me now it's a different aura. But with just that small added element to the photo, it kind of in a way tells a whole different story. It gives off to me a different vibe, a different aura. So even though it is incredibly similar to the picture I took just before, I did move over just a little bit to the right, and because of the fact that I moved over slightly to the right, the sun looks like it's setting in the tree. Like it really looks like the tree and the sun are one, and then with the couple walking by and them positioning themselves just perfectly in this shot, like perfectly. It's uncanny. I really don't think I tried to snap it at that exact point. Maybe I did, maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit here, but they are standing exactly between the tree and the light post, exactly between. And it's not like they stopped, they were walking. So to me, the fact that I captured them in that exact spot between the tree and the light post as the sun is in the tree. And looking at this photo now, to me, it really feels like the end of a movie. It looks like the last shot, the last frame, the last thing you see before going into the credits. And to me, it's because quite literally, they are walking off into the sunset. And if I were to name this photo, I would name it Off into the Sunset. And yet, kind of on the nose there, but I mean, you look at the framing, you look at the lighting, you look at the position of the subjects, it all just comes together so well, in my opinion. They all work together and they all complement each other wonderfully, I think. And then looking at the picture in its totality, because of all of the elements, it really just, it feels like I'm looking at the conclusion of something. It feels like I'm looking at something coming to an end, maybe. But, you know, like I've mentioned, photos, for me, I like when they give off particular vibes, aura, feelings, you know? And when looking at the photo, I feel like I'm looking at something coming to an end. You know, I feel like that's the aura, the vibe, the feel that this photo gives off. But yeah, that's it for the breakdown. Till next time when I'm indoors again, warm and cozy. But for now, back to me freezing my cheeks off in the cold. Sucker.
And I had to take my gloves off so I can take out the film roll. All right, well, you know, we do anything for this shot. If that means turning our ass cheeks into icicles, then it's what's needed. My fingers are frozen sausages, bro. Oh my god. All right, just keep going until that bad boy hits 0. You hear a very nice sound towards the end of it. You know that you got it. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Yo, my fingers hurt so much. Keep going, we're almost there. There we go. Boom. Boom. Whoops. Pop it open. Oh, I'm tweaking. I have to lift this. Got the Portra 400 out. Close the camera. Boom. And that's that. All right. Well, that's it for another episode of Exploring. Thank you so much if you happen to tune in, especially if you watch the entire way through. So much noise all around. Disregard it. It's New York City. What can you do, right? Well, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, deuces.